Page is 74, right?
74?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, so while statements which have negative connotations are prohibited, this would not apply where the listener can be expected to understand that nothing derogatory was intended. So this would not apply. So this does not affect the listener if he doesn't know that there was something negative intended towards the person.
If you're talking about your mutual friend, and the other guy knows how you like him and you love him, and so I mean,
He
say something, he would not misunderstand it, like he's trying to say something negative, even if it could be interpreted as such.
Right. Okay. So I understand. All right. So therefore, halacha permits making an ambiguous statement if nothing derogatory is intended, and the unintended meaning of the statement is only mildly derogatory, and the statement is made in the presence of three people or in the presence of the person being discussed. So these are the three conditions that allows you to make an ambiguous statement, as long as basically if the person is a mutual person and like you didn't mean anything derogatory,
Yes,
right?
yes. Mm-hmm.
It was nothing. And if it's mildly derogatory?
No, if it's mildly I mean, if it's not like openly derogatory that he's a low life, like that.
Right.
But something like they're going to give us.
Maybe like I don't know, like what if you say like, oh, I wish he worked harder.
No, that's derogatory. It's not.
Yeah.
That's,
really? Like if you say like you're not saying he doesn't work hard. You're just saying he wishes he worked harder. No.
That's one of the words that connotes that something is missing. That he's
really okay.
That he's lazy. Maybe not too lazy because he shows up for work, but basically it's not good.
Okay, I understand. All right, so. All right, and then the statement is made. All right, and the person is there. Okay, so
three people, meaning that it's a public statement.
Right.
And basically, public statement means for sure that this statement is going to go back to that to the subject of the discussion.
Okay. So, as an illustration, the early commentators offer the statement: "In that house, something is always cooking on the stove." This could mean that the family's door is always open to guests, or it could mean that the family is overindulgent. Okay.
That is a perfect example. Okay?
Yeah, it's actually really good. Yeah. So if the statement were to be made in the presence of three, one can safely assume that it would eventually become known to the family of whom it was said. Such being the case, the listeners would assume that the speaker intended it as a compliment. So because there's three people there, the listeners assume that, oh, well, he said this knowing that I would tell them, so it's a good thing because it can't be a bad thing. Otherwise, why would he tell us, right? Like that. So it would also be permissible to make such a statement in the presence of the family of whom it was said. So you say in front of the people that you always have food here.
No, it's not fast food. It's always something cooking in your house.
Right, you always have something cooking. Right.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Since it would be obvious to all that there was no derogatory in that. Oh, interesting. Okay, I like this one. This is good.
Like, I'll give you another example. There is some people I know this couple, a religious couple. So they used to live in Long Island, and then their life was boring. They become Bolshevik, so they moved to Brooklyn, and now they rented the children live separately. I don't know what, probably in their 60s. So now they have 3-bedroom apartment. I think they rented. They sold their house, right? So rented this apartment and let boys stay, boys that comes to Telona Yeshiva and this place, that place, that they need a place to stay. So they stay in their apartment.
I made a blessing earlier, just so.
Okay, anyway. Yeah. You understand? So it's like you can say that they're all like I'm not sure if they feed in this. I'm not sure. So, but basically, you can sell that there are always people in the apartment. There's always something is cooking. They're like,
I get
big tzaddikim, yeah. All right. I would go crazy if I have a new guest every few days.
I know people that I met through my wife that just always have guests. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to do. I like hosting. I actually had somebody over my first time since we got married. It was actually, I wanted to do this mitzvah forever. I finally invited somebody from my shul, that kid.
Okay. So he stayed over or no?
No, he came on Saturday.
Saturday day, during the day.
Hey, I mean, he stays in the shul all day on Saturday. So we just have nowhere to sleep. So he took a nap on my couch Saturday, but it was nice. I spoke to him. There's a lot. I'll tell you about it another time. But we're talking. I sent him Rabbi Yaron's videos, and he was like, "Oh, thank you for sending me." He's like, "It was so inspiring." So Baruch Hashem, you know, like,
it's very good. So that's actually whatever you just described. It's actually a mitzvah. So all other things like when you invite your friends, there is no mitzvah at all.
Right? Yeah.
Have a guest. So that there is a specific person. There is no other place for him to go.
Right.
That's the definition of the mitzvah to have guests.
Oh, when they have nowhere else.
When you have couple, another couple, I don't know, 3 blocks from you, you visited them. Next Shabbos they come to you, and there is no mitzvah.
There's no mitzvah. Oh, it's just somebody who needs a place to eat and things like that.
There is no other place for him. If not for you, he would not have any place. That's the definition of the mitzvah.
That's the definition.
And many people, they don't know. They think they're big.
They think just having people over. And I was thinking, wow, so many people that just invite people over, and I'm just like, they just want this mitzvah. I can't. Sometimes I can't tell.
Many times, unfortunately, the people are bored, and they need somebody like somebody fresh faces.
That's what I think. That's what it feels like to me, because we constantly get these, and I'm like, I feel like we're like a buffer, like maybe there's just something missing and they need people there. I don't know.
Exactly. I mean, all right. So, but that's when you have this feeling, it means that something is wrong between in the shalom bias that you need to work on. Right. Okay.